Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my 30-day experience on the carnivore diet. Let's get right into it. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe and turn on the bell notifications so you're always up to date when I upload a new video. Before we get into it, please give this video a big thumbs up. I appreciate it a lot. Okay, today's officially day 31 on a strict carnivore diet, where for the last 30 days I've eaten nothing basically besides butter, meat, and salt, and the occasional cup of coffee. In today's video, I'm going to be focusing more on the last couple of weeks because I did do a 14-day carnivore results video already, so I'll link that up here so you can go check it out. Okay, I felt like honestly there was a lot that was really important to share because this may not be your traditional 30-day experience. I'm sure some of you guys right now are expecting to hear all of these amazing life-changing results, which I did have, but there was also a lot of unexpected series of unfortunate events as well. Overall, looking at the 30 days, yes, my life has improved a lot for sure. I'm down exactly 15 pounds in 30 days. I started the challenge. I started the diet at 166.4 pounds and I weighed in today at 151.4 pounds. So literally 15 pounds on the dot. I am never bloated, never inflamed. My skin has definitely improved a lot more the last couple weeks. It's not perfect. I still have a lot of scars, a lot of color pigmentation, things like that. But overall, it's definitely gotten a lot better. My sleep is the best it's ever been. I'm waking up refreshed. I'm not waking up fatigued. My headaches are gone. My stomach aches are gone. My dandruff is gone. My hair is like less greasy, which is a weird benefit that I haven't really heard a lot of people talk about. I haven't needed to wash it as much. And I don't know, there's just a lot of like really random perks that I'm finding that I wasn't really expecting. When I say not needing to wash my hair as much, that's kind of a lie because I already only wash it like a couple times a week. But normally it would get greasy like super fast and I would have a lot of dandruff, where the last 30 days I have zero dandruff and like zero grease. My hair just feels like a lot healthier. So I just want to clarify that. For those of you that are new, I've been doing a carnivore diet for the last 9 months now, basically. But I did a lot of experimenting. I added fruit and honey, I think way too early. I was having a lot of dairy and I was actually gaining weight, even though I was still in a caloric deficit. There was a lot of things that didn't make sense. I felt super inflamed. I was still waking up with headaches and waking up super fatigued, and I felt like something was still wrong. So 30 days ago, I decided that's it. We're going strict carnivore, and I'm just doing beef, butter, salt, water. And I started off with black coffee, and I ended up cutting that off at about day, I think like 20 or 21. And I noticed a big difference with that as well. So I've always had not always actually, a few years ago when I got Lyme disease and then I moved into an apartment that 10 months later I found out had black mold. I developed really bad asthma, super bad sinus issues, all these food sensitivities, all of these health issues, crazy cystic acne, rosacea. It was just like one thing after another. And I cut out coffee before and I did notice a bit of a difference with my breathing, but like nothing major enough to like continue to keep it out. So I decided to keep it with strict carnivore because I was like, okay, whatever, it's just coffee. And then as the days were going on, I was getting a lot of good results, but I was still having like my chest pains, my sinuses were like clogged all the time. And I was like, okay, I'm not eating dairy, I'm not eating carbs, I don't know what this could be coming from. My only two options were like, maybe it's the butter, maybe I'm super sensitive and it is the butter, or maybe it's the coffee. But my gut feeling was telling me it was probably the coffee. So I cut out the coffee. First 2 days obviously sucked. I mean, I was only having like maybe 1 cup, 2 cups max a day, but still it was something I like really looked forward to, especially now that I can't really eat anything. So cutting it out was pretty hard, but after a few days, I was totally fine. I noticed my breathing is a lot better. I don't have any pain in my sinuses anymore, and my nose is like, I would say 80% clear now. Like I can actually kind of breathe through it, where before it was like blowing my nose 24/7. I'm noticing I'm barely like blowing my nose now. So I've been seeing like a lot of benefits with that. And I was just doing a lot of reading, watching a lot of carnivore videos and stuff like that. And people were saying, you know, coffee carries mold, or if you had mold issues, coffee can be like a big thing that is like triggering it. So I didn't know mold in coffee was a thing. So some other carnivore people were telling me, you know, you can try getting organic, like mold-free coffee. So I've been looking into that. I don't know if I want to try reintroducing coffee right now, if I just kind of want to like chill for a bit. It is almost kind of empowering getting through the day with no coffee because it was such a crutch for me. Like, to be completely honest, I used to be really addicted to energy drinks and pre-workout like a year ago, it was like I had to have it. Like I would look forward to my energy drink when I would sit down to edit or do a workout. It was like the only thing I looked forward to. I felt like my life was just so sad that like anything that would make me like feel something, like caffeine, whatever it was, I was just using that as a crutch. And okay, that was the worst thing I ever got into, but you know what I'm saying. So to live now like without coffee and not feel like, oh, I can't do this without my cup of coffee, or I can't do that it's actually like a very, very good feeling. So I've been enjoying like the mental aspect of it, and physically I've been feeling like a lot better. So I think I'm just going to continue with the no coffee. All right, I don't want to talk your ear off, but there is one most important thing I want to talk about that happened in the last couple of weeks. So basically, day 21 to 30 was god-awful, terrible. Long story short, I believe it was on day 21, I had a Lyme flare-up. I'm allergic to like all spices: cayenne, chili powder, black pepper, garlic, onion, paprika, cumin, curry. Pretty much every spice besides salt I'm allergic to, and I was exposed to like a lot of spices. It's kind of a long story, but I was inhaling like a lot of cayenne and paprika. I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal. Ended up having a huge Lyme flare-up. I was like bedridden for a couple days. It's the same thing every time I have a flare-up. I get a massive migraine. I'm throwing up. I'm like delusional in bed, just in so much pain, with the worst migraine you could ever imagine. So I had that, and then a couple days later, I had to travel to Iowa. My sister lives in Iowa, and I was helping her move from Iowa to Texas. So I was helping her pack for the week, and then helping her drive down. And there was a lot that happened during that week as well. So now we're at day 23, 24, 25. We're feeling good. Everything's okay. On day 24, I believe it was, I decided to introduce egg yolk. So at this time, I'm still only eating butter, beef, salt, water, no coffee. That's all I'm having. I was really struggling, to be honest. I was like, I feel like I just can't keep eating beef. Like I missed eggs so much. And I know I used to be really allergic to egg whites. So I was like, okay, let me just introduce the yolks just to be sure. I was like, I doubt I'm allergic to the whites, but let me just be sure. So I introduced the yolks on day 23, I believe. Yeah, 23, 24, 25. So I did 3 days of just yolks. I felt amazing. I felt great. I felt so much better than I did before on just beef. So I was like, okay, yolks are a thumbs up. And just a few days ago, on day 27, we were making the road trip from Iowa to Texas. So we were just driving like halfway, 5 or 6 hours, not even halfway actually, just to Kansas City. So that morning we were rushing, we were getting ready. I was making breakfast, I was making steak and eggs. Trying not to throw up, even just like telling this story. But we were rushing, and I was like, you know what? Like, I'm not going to separate the eggs and the yolks. Like, I didn't have time. They were waiting for me to hurry up and finish making breakfast so we could go. So I didn't separate the eggs. So this was my first time trying egg whites in like 30 days, which doesn't seem like a long time, but apparently it was long enough. So what would a smart person do? A smart person would probably just have one egg with the whites, right? And maybe like a couple of yolks. Yeah, that sounds pretty smart. What I did is I just straight up had 5 eggs, just 5 scrambled eggs. I just went for it. So I made the eggs. I'm eating breakfast. My stomach is actually turning right now. I'm not kidding you. As I was eating, I knew something was wrong. I knew I should have stopped. But I didn't. I kept eating. I finished the breakfast. As soon as I was done, I sat at that kitchen table, and I was like, what did I just do? I just knew. We know our bodies. You know your body. I know my body. We just know. My stomach started to hurt immediately. I got a headache within like 20 minutes. Within the first 30 minutes, I had diarrhea 3 times. I was freaking out. I was like, I had to drive my sister and her 3 kids, all under the age of 5. I was like, how am I supposed to do this right now? I didn't even tell her. I was just trying to play it cool, but I felt terrible. The craziest thing too is my face lit up on fire. I'll try and I think I took a video or a picture. I'll try and put it up on here. I have really bad rosacea, and I never really noticed before that egg whites make it flare up, but my face was on fire. I had red dots everywhere. It was uncomfortable. It was pitch red. This was all within under an hour of finishing that meal. So that's all happening. I'm feeling terrible. I'm keeping it to myself. I gotta drive. I gotta keep it together. At this point, I'm literally just in fight or flight. So I ended up surviving. I drove the whole way. I was okay somehow. As soon as we got to Kansas City, I just about died. I literally was curled up in a ball. My stomach was hurting so bad. I had diarrhea probably a total of like 30 to 40 times that night. I was just basically living on the toilet. My stomach was in extreme pain. I ended up getting like a really high fever, and they put me to bed at like 7 o'clock. So I went to bed at like 7, and I knew I wasn't even going to be able to sleep. I was so uncomfortable. So I ended up waking up at like, I think 11 o'clock. Everyone was already asleep by then. We were staying at my cousin's house. I woke up at 11 o'clock crawling to the door. I'm just going to be straight up. I thought I was going to have diarrhea everywhere. Like I knew if I stood up, I was going to poop my pants and it was going to go everywhere. At the same time, I had to throw up really bad. So I'm crawling to the door. I'm yelling my sister's name. I'm yelling my cousin's name. My cousin finally comes running out. She helps me to the toilet and I just exploded. Like I was having diarrhea as I was throwing up at the same time. I threw up so much. Not only did it like basically fill the garbage can, but it went all over my legs, all over my pajamas. I was like soaked in my own throw up. It was probably it was the grossest moment of my whole life probably. And long story short, that was just the start of it. I ended up throwing up like 5 or 6 more times that night, having diarrhea like at least 20 more times. It was genuinely probably the most pain and most discomfort I've ever been in. I've never thrown up like that before. I've had the stomach flu. I've had food poisoning. I've had a lot of things. I've never thrown up that violently before. And I was telling a couple people a story, and I was even like sharing it on TikTok, and everyone's like, oh, you probably just got like the stomach bug. I know that's going around, but what are the chances that I get the stomach bug right after I introduce egg whites and I'm feeling sick? It just doesn't make sense. Like I'm very confident it came from the whites. I felt totally normal until I ate that meal. As soon as I ate that meal, everything went downhill. So that was terrible. Day 28, I didn't eat at all. The thought of anything carnivore literally made me almost throw up again. So here I am, day 28. I'm like, oh my God, I've come so far. You know, I've lost 15 pounds. I feel like I've healed so many of my health issues in just 30 days. I was just wanting to cry. I just felt so discouraged. I was like, there's no way I can go back. I can't eat beef. I definitely can't eat eggs. But I don't even think I can eat beef right now because I'm associating it with that meal. And I was just sitting in bed and I was just so upset. I was like, I don't know what to do. So honestly, I just listened to my body. Day 28, I didn't eat anything. Day 29 and 30, I can't tell you why. Maybe one of you guys can maybe explain this to me. But the only thing I could stomach was berries and sourdough bread with butter. So for 2 days straight, all I had was carbs. So obviously I'm out of ketosis at this point. Mentally, I'm feeling like a freaking failure. I'm feeling sad. I'm like sharing this journey on social media and stuff, and I feel like a freaking fake. And you know, it was a really hard thing for me in the moment. But I'm human. Did I plan for this to happen? No. Could I have planned for it? No. Like I didn't expect it. These things happen. Unexpected things happen. So I didn't really eat that much over the course of a couple days. I had maybe like a few pieces of toast with butter, and then I had a couple smoothies, which were literally just like frozen berries. I did have a banana as well. It was the only thing I can stomach. I'm not gonna lie, that fruit tasted so good. The interesting thing is that I thought I was gonna go off the rails. I know myself, and if I even have like a little bit of fruit or a couple pieces of bread, I just go crazy. The floodgates open. I wanna binge. I wanna get fries, pizza, like all this bad stuff. But this was the first time I've ever experienced something like this. And I don't know if my body just changed a lot over the course of the 30 days, but when I ate the bread and fruit, I was fine. Like my hunger cues didn't go through the roof. I don't know if it was because I was still a little bit sick, but I didn't get any cravings. I felt totally fine. And slowly over a couple days, my meat aversion kind of went away a little bit. So today's day 31, and today's the first day that I'm officially back on track, 0 carbs with carnivore. I'm still having a bit of a meat aversion. Like I do kind of have to force it a little bit, but I've been having a lot of broth and things like that. So if I'm not eating that much over the course of the next few days, it's not that big of a deal. I'm trying my best to listen to my body and just kind of like slowly ease back into it. I know that was kind of a lot of information and a long story, but I really just felt the need to share that because I think sometimes you can see a lot of people doing carnivore and they're so perfect, like 30 days straight, 60 days straight, 100 days straight. And I know for me, like I watch a lot of those videos and I think that's freaking awesome, but also like I feel terrible about myself because like I failed this so many times. I've tried strict carnivore so many times. This is the closest I've ever gotten, and I'm proud of myself for getting back on track. You know, I don't want to consider it starting over. Like I didn't gain any weight or anything like that. I had like a little bit of a breakout from kind of everything that happened, but other than that, I still have everything that I had, you know, even just like a few days ago. So trying my best to be positive. Today is day 31. I'm calling it day 31 instead of day 1 because I don't think I need to start over. But yeah, I really felt I need to share that. And hopefully that can help somebody, because I think a lot of people may not really know what they're reacting to. So for you, it could be egg whites. It could not be. But I was hoping that, maybe this could even just help one person if I shared it. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys have had any experiences like that as you started to introduce things with the diet. I'm definitely curious. For me personally, I'm not introducing anything. I'm traumatized. I'm not introducing anything. I'm trying to go to day 100 and I just want to stick with beef, salt, and water. I don't think I want to do anything else. I even had chicken the last couple days, and instant chronic fatigue and stomach pain and diarrhea came back. So I don't know what is going on. Maybe some of you guys can maybe help me out in the comments. I'm not a pro at this. I'm just a regular person trying to heal my Lyme disease and all of my chronic health issues. So yeah, I want to share that story with you guys today. If you're still watching, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next update.